We're just looking at the map. Sorry, didn't mean to make you panic.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the April 20th meeting of the Hyde Park Planning Board. Please take note of the exits around the room in case of emergency, and now join us in saying the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The first item on the agenda is a new public hearing for Speedway. Making a motion to open the public hearing.
So move. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, this is going to be really quick because I don't think we have anybody from the public interested in speaking. In essence, Speedway is still before the ZBA seeking variances. We cannot approve the site plan that they've shown, which is basically for change of colors from green to a dark red, as well as to add the ice machine, or ice dispenser that's sold, as well as the exchange for the propane tanks. But they also, because the, I'm not sure what that was saying, because the sign that, the freestanding sign that was installed was not what was approved on the old site plan, it's too big. They're before also getting a variance there, and since it's shown as it is on the site plan, we can't approve that yet. So, any comments from the board? Would anyone from the public like to speak about this application? There being none, may I get a motion to adjourn this to May 4th?
So move. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. The next item is Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union. Mr. Groninger, to my left, is recused from this application, and in his place, I have appointed Rob Waters, our second alternate. Rob, do you want to come on up?
Busy here. You're on.
And switch the
So, if everyone had a chance to check your email today, we received a response back from our county planning, and county planning had the same issue that our new alternate, Mr. Waters, alluded to as well. I passed around his comments. So, Rob, if you could open up the site plan for us and show us where your item of concern was. Microphone?
Sorry. I was concerned about the actual facade in the front facing the south. It just protrudes out off the roof, and there's really no, it doesn't seem like it's anchored to the building. And it doesn't give great views from both the east, the west, or the north elevation. And also, another concern was that the drive-through has a lot of, how would you say, a huge amount of mass of roof just there. I think that it could be broken up possibly with a dormer, cross gable, or possibly cupola or something. Kind of tie it back to the aesthetics of what the town feeling would be.
The character of the community. And those are excellent comments. Like I said, they were echoed by county planning. I think I forwarded them to all our colleagues on the board, but I kind of feel embarrassed when, as soon as he told me and I looked at it more closely, I thought, oh yeah, it's that, Wild West sort of fake thing that when you see it from the side. I was so pleased with the way it looked from the front that I hadn't really paid attention to that, and the way it's shaded, I hadn't noticed. So we're having a meeting tomorrow, I believe, at 2 o'clock. Mr. Deasing, the architect, said he more or less agreed. And this is, what's not shown right now are all the antennas and the
Air
conditioning vents, et cetera. I just was perusing the code, and we're actually supposed to see all that, but it's never shown because it makes the building not look so pretty, and they're always trying to sell it. So, but there's Mr. Waters, Rob made some other suggestions they could use to help disguise. And flat roofs are not allowed in the town, since this is just a recladding. I don't think any of us had wanted to force the issue, but now that they're adding this, and it does look a little top-heavy, like it's ready to fall over from the front, so we'll meet tomorrow to discuss. Rob's going to be there, and so will Diane. So to discuss and see what his ideas are. So any other comments from the board?
No, just excellent comments.
Yeah, thank you, Rob.
Thank you.
I should add that Rob is a design professional, and that's actually not a skill set any of us, or that's been brought forward here before. So it was really nice to have someone be able to articulate, that there was something missing in the architectural style. So I want to thank you again. And the other purpose of tonight is that we had set a public hearing for this evening. Through some administrative mistakes, notices were not sent. Notices were not sent to the adjoining property owners, so we have to reset the public hearing. And just to let everybody know, they were fine with that because they actually need the time to respond to this kind of comment, because it's. And by the way, the architect, Mr. Deasing, said, I noticed that too when I did it. He said, but, the applicants were happy with it. So he actually used the words, "It's nice when a planning board can force better design." Ooh. I'll also, while I'm bragging for a moment, say that he also told me that, I think it's in Fishkill or Wappinger, I'm sorry, I can't remember which, there's a new Dunkin' Donuts going up, and it's not the same owner as the ones here, the Chins, but there's a new one, and they contacted him to say they had heard that he designed the Hyde Park one because they love the Hyde Park Dunkin' Donuts and want the exact same thing. Which means we're setting some standards for other towns in our county, which I think is pretty good. So
Yeah,
Awesome.
we did that for Rite Aid, too.
we did it for Rite Aid as well. So anyway, making a motion to set the public hearing for May 4th.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And thank you, Rob. Thank you for coming up. I'll see you tomorrow at 2 o'clock.
Resolution.
The next item on the agenda is an extension request for approval for what we still call Crofton Mews. It was last titled Carriage Trails at Hyde Park, and I believe that someone in the audience might be here representing this application. Come on up. Please state your name for the record.
Once you get here.
Yes, once you're before the microphone.
Just a couple of drawings.
Couple? Just a couple?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. My name is Joseph Deegan, and I've been retained, my firm has been retained by KeyBank, which is now the proud owner. Guess y'all knew that was going to happen sooner or later, right?
We did. We were told that
Yeah.
a couple of the original investors actually passed away, and the ones that were left did not want to reinvest.
Yeah. So I'm the new guy on the block. And as you might imagine, my firm is a national company. We have 1,300 brokers across the U.S. We specialize multifamily, retail, fairly large-scale commercial projects, which is why KeyBank retained us. And as you might imagine, in the simplest way I can put it, in my marketing of an 88-acre parcel with approvals for 290 units, which is nice. I have full architecturals and engineering, and I mean, that's a wonderful asset I have to market, except the approvals expire in June. So that's a problem. And I come before you to make peace. I know this has been a problematic project for you. I've heard some of the stories. By the way, your planning and zoning office, and Tad Moss in particular, has been really, really helpful to work with and very, very accommodating to me and telling me what's up. I understand there is, and I have engaged, pardon me, not engaged, I have sought a proposal from Chazen Engineering. There's some wetlands issues that you want, whatever. I spoke to Amy in their office just at 5:30 this evening. She's getting me a proposal. She's going to recommend monthly monitoring of that for a 12-month period, and then I think she can step it back. So we have taken those actions. KeyBank is fully on board to pay those fees and engage the architects and engineers, whatever you guys want. I think, if I may, if I was you, the good news is, in my business, I need a real seller and a real buyer, and I now have a real seller. This has been owned by private individuals who, and it's the nature of my business. people always, everybody I meet thinks they own the crown jewel, and it's my job to tell them they often don't. With a bank, I don't have to do that. This property was marketed prior at $8 and $9 million. We have an appraisal on file for 3.6.
Oh,
That's the asking price. So we're going to finally move this thing off the dime for you, and I know it's been a very long process for the board.
well, this project started much longer than any person up here has seen before. Just want to tell you that.
Yeah, I've heard.
When I was appointed, when Ms. Dexter and I were appointed 10 years ago. 11?
Yes.
Wait. Okay, 11 years ago, it actually had an approval, but it had, I believe, 26 conditions, and those were systematically worked through, so they got to their approval. As you know, we've been reapproving, extending the approval sort of routinely, mainly because, number one, you're constitutionally vested in the property, the owners are, because you've already spent a significant amount of money. The water line was extended from this side of Route 9 up and all the way down. I don't believe you've installed, and the sewer treatment plant, I believe, is there, but it hasn't been fully operational or maintained because there's no reason to. There's nothing there.
Yeah, I don't think it is. There's significant storm drainage, road beds in, sewer lines are stubbed to the units, it's blasted, I mean, there's purportedly $5 to $6 million of infrastructure work done.
We never know the truth of that. but
Neither do I.
I can believe that only because, as I said, this actually started about 25 years ago, believe it or not, under Elmer Van Wagner, who, a long time ago, I'll leave it at that. So we did, just so you're aware, the issues that you're referring to about what needs to be done are actually post-planning board. They have to do with stormwater issues, and
Yes.
Ms. Moss is also, besides being our zoning administrator, she's also the stormwater management officer, the SHMO, as she's affectionately known. And so
I don't think I'll call her that, but thanks.
she'll laugh if you do. But the issue is that there's supposed to be monitoring for the stormwater stuff, and it hasn't been done. And really, I don't want to say the town looked the other way, but we were aware of the financial problems with only one or two people being interested in keeping it going and not everybody else. They didn't want to stick their own money into it. So we're delighted that the bank, I shouldn't say we're delighted the bank took it back, but we're delighted that there's a serious seller, as you said now,
There's a way forward.
which is terrific. And just so you know also, the project has been marketed at one time as 55 and over, then it was going to be for anybody, then it was perhaps going to be marketed as rentals rather than owned, then it was maybe going to be affordable, then it was going to be market. It's been a lot. And, you know, if it needs to come back with the new owners once they appear, we'll handle it.
Thank you.
The most recent thing
Thank you very much.
The most recent thing that happened was we did allow changes to the footprint. That was about 8 years ago, I think, because the realtors had told them that the original footprints they'd followed, there were going to be 2 outside and then 3 on the inside. You know, and the realtors all said only the in-units sell. There's another townhouse complex just down the way that they're going up. There's some they're going for auction right now on May 15th because, again, the only ones that are selling are the 2 outer ones. No one wants to apparently share walls up here in the country. So
Okay, it's good. Thank you.
and so
I'll
all
take
of
the
these,
advice I
they're
can get.
basically they're 4.
Yep.
So each one is sort of an outer one, so to speak. So
Yeah, I mean, I actually like the design. Now,
I liked it too.
We did too.
I agree. And I looked at this, and you know, I've a fair amount of experience in real estate and development, and like, why has this thing languished? And a variety of reasons. But I think what you got on the table now is a pretty good product.
Well, we last did that 8 years ago, and then as they were beginning to think about taking the next steps, 2007, Lehman Brothers. So that did not help. But the economy's certainly, if it hasn't rebounded strongly, it's certainly rebounded. We've added new jobs, et cetera, et cetera. So
There's financing available for stuff like
financing
this
is
now.
available.
I mean, it's not 2008. That's for
no.
sure.
And did Ms. Moss tell you about the beaver problem that sometimes occurs there? This isn't a joke, even though it sounds like.
No, well, look, I'm here to learn. So my understanding was that was part and parcel of having Chazen come out monthly and look at so, okay, yes, then yes.
Beaver, yes, it sounds funny to say the beaver problem, but for our newest members, beavers will dam up things occasionally, and it causes flooding back behind it, and the neighbors who live upstream get really angry and vocal. So,
Yeah, and we'll be on that.
and-
BBC has.
Yes, the DEC, but you'll be fine. The prior representative who was before us, we came to know very affectionately, he was here so often. He took care of that as a consequence as well. Under our code, we are required to have a public hearing for any approval, extension of approval. So we're here tonight just to set the public hearing. So making a motion to do so for May 4th.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And if you want to, I don't know where you're based.
My office is in Kingston.
Oh, okay. If you want to come back, you can. You don't really have to. The only public comment we usually get is from someone from the Moose. I believe Ms. Moss may have told you about that, met that individual.
Perhaps?
And he's a nice guy. They're just always wanting to make sure they know what's going on because, of course,
They're
share a
entitled.
driveway.
It's fine.
Yeah, they share a driveway,
Yep.
so.
And I'm just going to add an interruption here because I was just by there, and you may want to double-check if the beavers are back.
All right. We-
It looked like there's a lot of water backed up. I just came down 9G this afternoon.
Really?
Noticed that.
So it may be back.
Okay, well, like I said, I just got the phone at literally 5:30 with Amy from Chase, and she's going to give me a proposal tomorrow. I get that to Key Bank in Denver. They'll sign it, and we'll engage them immediately. So let me just fully understand your process. May 4th, I appreciate you telling me I don't have to come. I will be here. But is it perfunctory? Is it at that, we're extended?
We close the public hearing, and we, by our own code, have 30 days in which to take action, but we usually take action that night.
Okay,
So the resolution will be prepared, I can assure you.
wonderful.
There will be, at some point, Ms. Moss and I discussed that the area there was known to be Blanding's turtle habitat suitable.
Yes.
Blanding's turtle is an endangered species, both federally and state listed. So at the time, the applicants put forth what we call the standard DEC protocols to avoid takes, as they call them, of
Yes.
Blanding's turtles. Most of those fences are kind of fallen apart and eroded, so whenever the new buyer comes forth, you need to make certain that they're aware that they'll have to reestablish all the Blanding's turtle mitigation measures.
Okay.
Some of that includes education, telling truck drivers not to back up, not leaving potholes. It's some simple stuff, but the primary one that's there already are just some walls and I believe some crossings.
Turtle bridges.
Turtle bridges, right,
Yep.
that will need to be reworked. So, but we'll get into that once you have a new buyer. That's not an issue right now.
Thank you.
So we've already set the public hearing. We'll see you then in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I appreciate it. And believe me, it was nice hearing that you say that Ms. Moss has been cooperative because we really do, no one wants to see the lunar landscape out there just stay like that.
Oh, no, let's go. I agree.
And since it's been approved, if there is a market for it, we would like to see it occur.
Well, great. You guys, your receptiveness is wonderful. Thank you. That really helps.
We try.
Well,
Thank you and have a safe drive back to Kingston.
Thank you all so very much.
Okay. The next item on the agenda is Jeffery Groves Estates. This is also a request for extension of site plan approval. As I think I discussed with everyone before, the applicants are in the process of, this was where there's 45 townhomes and 9 single-family homes. They would like to change the subdivision for the 9 single-family homes and put up another, I believe it is 12 they're allowed of townhomes. But as part of this process, they're going through Department of Health because they need to change the sewage disposal system. And what they proposed, if I can say this bluntly, was kind of a cheapo version, and DCWWA said, So there's still negotiations, which is why they haven't moved forward. So there have been no changes in information or conditions, and we did, in this case, also ask for redelineation and recertification of the wetlands to make sure they had not moved. That was all done, so making a motion to set this public hearing for May 4th as well.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And the next to last item on the agenda, Staatsburg Hutchins Storage. This is merely for a sign. I told Mr. Turner, who loyally came out tonight, even though he didn't have to either, that the initial sign application that was submitted, the graphic, the green, was too big for us to approve it, and it would need a variance, so they just took it back and shrunk it, so that there's no variance required. And when Tad and I discovered that, we got it put on the agenda quickly for tonight. So, anybody have any questions about that application? No? Thank you. Then who has this file?
I have it.
Thank you.
Resolution recommendation for issuance of sign permit pursuant to Town Code, Section 108-24.3A 4D. Staatsburg self-storage freestanding sign. Date April 20th. Resolution number TBD, whereas Scott Hutchins on March 4th, 2016, submitted an application for one freestanding sign to be associated with the approved site plan for Staatsburg self-storage located at 4920 Albany Post Road in the Neighborhood Business District. Whereas and I'm going to read this because it is significant, whereas on March 17th, a revision to the graphic symbol was submitted and the application was reviewed by the zoning administrator and found to be compliant. Now therefore be it resolved, the board hereby recommends the zoning administrator issue the sign permit for Staatsburg self-storage is submitted by Robert E. Turner on March 18th, 2016, drawing dated March 17th by Tinkelman Architect.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Tell Mr. Hutchins good luck not getting the sign up that he wants. And it's nice to see you as always.
Of course.
Also let him know that the new painted building looks lovely, too.
Yeah, no, I was gonna take a photograph of that and shoot that over to show you
Oh, I
that
haven't
the
seen it.
graphics are now taken off.
The conditions are being met. The conditions are being met. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I must not have, yeah.
And the last item on the agenda is a discussion of proposed local law C to amend section 108. I don't know if any of you guys had a chance to take a look at this yet. I only put it up here because we have 30 days in which to respond to the town board. So,
I wasn't sure what it meant.
okay,
Sorry.
in essence,
I figured you could explain that to us.
I'm going to try. In essence, one and two family dwellings are allowed in business districts, but if you put up a resident, there's no requirement for site plan. In addition, some of the neighborhoods districts where, there's no requirement for site plan for residential, for 1 and 2. In addition, some of the neighborhood properties go up to routes 9 and 9G. So when you have new buildings like this going up, there's no way to require a sidewalk. And so if you're going to do a complete streets, sidewalkscaping, you need to have something like this in your zoning. And what I'll refer to is there's a new, or relatively new, 2 or 4 family, I think it's 2 family unit that's near Clancy's Creamery.
Yes.
And there was no sidewalk required, and all the businesses around were saying, why didn't they need a sidewalk? And it's because it wasn't required in the district. So all this would do now would be to allow us to be able to say, in this instance, yes, a sidewalk is appropriate. We would, I presume, waive most other issues of site plan because it's what we do with residential units usually.
Yep, oh, thank you.
So that's basically what it is. But be sure and comb the law, and then what I'd like for you to do is if you can just shoot me an email saying, yes, you like it, no, you don't, or your reasons why, then I'll try to incorporate everyone's into one comment letter, and I'll have that ready for us at the next meeting, if we can get it back to me before May 4th.
Should be no problem.
Michael, this doesn't obviate any of the idea of one residence, particularly out in the greenbelt areas, on, a larger multi-acre site.
No.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure, because it wasn't not, I
I know.
just got to read it tonight for the first time.
No. And it's, I haven't even had a chance to completely read it.
Right, I wanted to review
Myself.
against what districts it really applies to. I just didn't need the time to get to it fully.
2-family is not allowed in Greenbelt. So this doesn't affect any of the more rural areas.
Okay, but the way I kind of read it, you could also put 2 buildings on a single parcel.
Yeah, that's what I read too.
If you have enough acreage that
You're
you
right.
could divide it.
Well, you don't have to
That's the way
divide
I read it.
Family
Oh, but
dwelling on a
that-
single lot.
You have enough acreage that you could, I think is how.
Why would you want?
I mean, I don't know why you would, but again, I'm just not sure what we're really,
It's a good point. Placed in a single lot.
It says down there at the bottom here.
Yeah.
Other one.
I'll have to take a look at the
that
zoning
was a quick
district.
scan.
I'll take a look at the
Like I
zoning
say,
district.
I need to really read this and think about options here,
I'm trying to think of, wait.
what the rationale
Well,
was
it's
for
not,
that.
no, it's not just that. It's also if you have 2 one-families, does that trigger any review by the planning board right now? I don't
I don't believe it does.
believe it does.
think so.
So it would?
I think you're there by right if you wanted.
Yeah, they
I
are.
mean, see-
If you have enough acreage, you're exactly right. It is as of right.
If you're one, it could be.
I mean, in a way, you're making a subdivision.
Well, I'll tell you what, let me, I'm going to discuss this with Attorney Raplansky,
Okay.
who wrote the law.
And if you would,
family-
after your discussion, if you would send an
I
email out
will,
to the
yeah.
full board so we can kind of
Yeah.
reevaluate.
Well, I'll
Thank
probably
you.
just call him on the phone, because this is one of those ones I'd
Okay.
like to, but,
But whatever you get out of that, I
because if
appreciate.
you do more than one family, it's not just a two-family, it's,
The fact you can
Two
have
one-
two,
yeah,
one
single-family
families
residences.
on,
I'm
I don't know, a
personally
5-acre
having
plot.
Two single-family houses on the same parcel,
Microphone, please.
you know, so if, you know, I'd like to keep it that way.
yeah, I agree. All right. Anything else on this law so far? Okay, then I will indeed get something back out to you as quickly as I can, I hear back from Warren. And I don't believe there's anything else on the agenda tonight, so may I get a motion to adjourn?
Move.
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Thank you.